Good afternoon, everyone. I am responding to Michael's discussion for Communications 222, our interpersonal communications class that I was for, fortunate enough to take at Ashford University. And man, did this class teach me a lot. And one thing that Michael pointed out that I wanted to point out too is we all have to slow down when dealing with different cultures and not judge different cultures. Like, to give you an example, the Brazilians talk extremely fast, and the Australians have a thick enough accent well, you can't understand a word they're saying, and I have a disability. So the Australians land up getting the fuzzy end of the lollipop because us Americans can't understand what they are saying. And I had trouble at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, believe it or not, because Australians made this the hot spot. They made Aspen the hot spot because they flew up here in March to go ski, and then they turned around and gave us coronavirus. But as Australians were doing the interviews from here with all local radio stations and all local news stations and even interviews in Australia, I could not understand them to a 10th degree. Now, I have a dear friend from Australia who I met I graduated high school in 2006, and I met her in that time frame. So I also have a several friends down in Florida, and I finally told one of them, "You've got to knock it off with the you all syntax because that one drives me nuts." And when I finally told her, she was like, "Okay, that drives me nuts because in my brain with the TBI doesn't compute you all. It computes you while you all. So you all have it doesn't compute. So I'm like, don't shorten terminologies on me, honey, because and so what I'm saying is when we go to the Georgia Florida line, when we are able to travel again, I am going to have to be, after taking this class, I am going to have to be really careful as to listen and slow down because, as Michael pointed out in his post, he doesn't listen, he doesn't slow down. We just carry on about our days. And so, with a TBI, you particularly have to slow down with the person you're speaking to because they get communication apprehension. At least I do. But I didn't realize communication apprehension was a saying until I took this class. So I did not realize that communication apprehension was a thing until I took this class. And then I will always, always have to slow down from now on out because I want to have a clear conversation with someone, and that happened on YouTube. I talk with my hands, and I put my hand in front of my mouth, which is not good when you're trying to do a communication deal. Anyway, I just need to slow down, and I think we all need to slow down when we meet people of different walks of life, especially those in Florida and Georgia, because they pick up those tendencies, and then I pick up the tendencies. I'm a minor bird when it comes to picking up those tendencies, and it's so funny because I have 24-hour help. I have help from my stepmom, and then I have, well, help from my stepmom, and then help from my aides because my mom has a full-time job. And it's so funny because hanging around me too much, you'll pick up those CP, cerebral palsy tendencies, and it's like, hey, I am teaching people about CP tendencies that I didn't even notice. And the point is, we should all slow down and stop and smell the roses and have these interpersonal communications with people because nowadays we're doing it so much online that you can't tell body language, you can't tell anything. You can't tell anything. So again, one of Michael's big weaknesses, along with mine, was he's got to stop and slow down. I've got to stop and slow down, and so I just blabber on 1,000 miles a minute because I have a lot to say. But I have got to learn that I have got to slow down as well. So that's my piece, and that's how I'm sticking to it. And so again, this is for John Golding's interpersonal communications class out of Ashford 222. Thanks, see you guys.